Passport to the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Here we go. From stem to stern, this yacht, the Envision, is absolutely amazing. We're gonna head out to sea and hopefully catch some fish. We're here at Swank Farms. You are gonna absolutely love it here. Look how gorgeous this is. I mean, only in the Palm Beaches. Let's go work out.
Let's do it.
Incredible. This is just gorgeous. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Absolutely.
This is Passport to the Palm Beaches. Welcome to Passport to the Palm Beaches. I'm Jacqueline Journey, and we are here outside of the gorgeous Boca Museum of Art. I love this sculpture. I really want to take it home. If I had room and a big truck, I would be doing that. Stick around, this episode is going to be fantastic. It's all about must-see PB. We're going to visit the Norton Museum and explore it after hours on our own private tour. We're also going to discover a Veterans Memorial for Gold Star families that was recently dedicated right here in the Palm Beaches. You won't want to miss it. But first up, it's time to dream. We are going to visit one of the most enchanting gardens you've ever seen. You won't want to miss a second of this edition of Passport to the Palm Beaches. You're watching Passport to the Palm Beaches. I'm Jacqueline Journey. I'm so excited today because we are at the Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens, and I love this place. They've got gorgeous, magnificent, monumental sculptures in their ginormous garden. They've also got 250 plus types of rare plants and tons of beautiful artwork, art studios. You're absolutely going to love it. Let's head inside. You're tuned in to Passport to the Palm Beaches. I'm Jacqueline Journey, and if you're in the Palm Beaches, a must-see is the Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens. They're absolutely incredible. And we are here with someone from Sculpture Gardens, Cynthia Kenai. Thank you so much for having us today. This place is really incredible. I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
Thank you. We think so. We are standing in the studio of Ann Norton, which is probably one of the most magical places that we have here.
There's a lot to see here. I mean, the actual house, actually listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, which is incredible on its own. You feature other artists in the home. You've got the gorgeous sculpture gardens, which we'll see very shortly. And there are 9 monumental sculptures in this garden of Ann Norton's that are going to blow your mind. They're beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the history. How did this place come about?
The historic home was the home of Ralph Norton and his wife Elizabeth. They bought the house in 1935, and as it would happen, Mrs. Norton passed away, and he then married Ann Weaver. She was an artist. She was sort of an artist ahead of her time in terms of her interest in contemporary art, and they had that basic love of art together. They were married about 5 years before he passed away, and Ann Norton lived here for the rest of her life, and I think she spent most of it in this studio.
I mean, it's an absolutely incredible place, and it's very inspiring just to be in here. You can feel all of the juices flowing, and one of the things I find really interesting about Ann Norton as an artist, you don't necessarily think by looking at all of her works that they were done by the same artist. She seemed really versatile, and working with brick and granite and all kinds of other materials. It's really fascinating.
I think that she was someone who was constantly expanding the boundaries of what the means in which she worked. So she traveled a lot, and through travel, I think she had a lot of inspiration from different places, and you see that in the monumental sculpture. The one that's in granite, the 7 beings, was definitely inspired by travel, and a lot of the other brick sculptures. There are 8 other brick sculptures in the gardens, and we think that is an inspiration from where she grew up, which was Selma, Alabama. She made all of the bricks, created them, and then inside each of the sculptures is steel rebar. So there was a lot of engineering and a lot of things that came together to create these amazing pieces. And then in here you see a lot of wood, you see bronze, you see stone, and of course, huge plaster pieces. And it's interesting to note that Ann Norton was 4 feet 11 inches tall. She was small and petite, but she was always thinking big about her art. But for her legacy, she really wanted to protect this 2-acre green space on the Intercoastal Waterway and for the community to enjoy her art and this green space. But I think it's really an amazing experience to be and to see someone who has lived in this space and to walk through really their life and what they have really cared about. I think it reminds us of all of the places that we care about, whether it be a family home that you go back and visit over and over again because you want to see the changes. Because you live your life in a place, it really matters. And I think most people that visit us understand that when they walk through this space, that it mattered to her, and then it becomes a point of really an important thing for the people that are members here and people that visit here. They can see the life that unfolded and how important it was for her to share that with all of us.
We're here in the center of the Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens, and I'm here with the garden guru. That's what I hear is your unofficial nickname, Margaret Horgan. This place is outstanding. I mean, give us a little history about the gardens themselves.
Okay, so the gardens themselves were the final element of Ann's whole vision. And when she had this piece of property, her thought was for the guests that came to experience sort of a sense of mystery and to round the corner as if you're in a jungle and happen upon her works. And then once that experience was there, then a lot of them are untitled, and it was meant to just be, you know, the eye of the beholder to interpret how you see them, how they represented themselves to you.
The first time I walked through here, I actually equated it to like Christmas morning, because it's like unwrapping a present every time you walk around a corner. Everything is so well contained.
Yes.
And the gardens are thriving, you know, and so gorgeous that they really are like little hidden treasures all throughout the garden.
They are. And the original plan too was different sections of the gardens are meant to inspire a different feeling. So the front part of the gardens, when you come in by the historic house, is sort of the celebration lawn and meant for having fun and having events. And then as you make your way into the deeper parts of the garden, for example, this is the reflection pool, and appropriately named because if you're standing here, you see the reflection of Gateway to Knowledge. If you're over there, you see the reflection of Gateway number 5. So a lot of people come and just like to sit here and watch the light reflecting off the palms, and that's really a lovely area. And then we have a meditation pond on the other side, which needs no explanation. So you can experience a lot of different sensations and reflective periods, if you want to call it that, while you're in the garden. You can choose how you want to feel when you're here, and there's a little bit of something for everyone. We have seating everywhere, so some people come in with a book and sit down and like to read a book, and some people just do a really quick tour, but it's all here for the taking, and you can make your visit here what you want out of it.
The Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens are an absolute must-see PB location. Still to come on this edition of Passport to the Palm Beaches, we've got that private tour of the Norton Museum of Art that you won't want to miss. But first up, we attended this wonderful memorial for the Gold Star families. Stay tuned for more Passport to the Palm Beaches. Passport to the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Jacqueline Journey here on Passport to the Palm Beaches with Herschel Woody Williams. And you know, we're all here today because of you, really. And what you started back in 2010. This memorial is really part of your vision, yes?
I would never disagree with the beautiful lady. But no, it's about them, not about me.
Well, yes, but your decision to sort of start this foundation back in 2010 has led to so many memorials like this, which are so critical and really so important to honor the veterans that we've lost and also to educate people.
Absolutely. Yes, there are a great number of people in America that do not understand what a Gold Star family member is, because it's something that we have not absolutely talked about or did anything about for all of these many, many years.
What does it mean to you to have all of this come to fruition?
Oh, well, we're not done. So many communities now are recognizing for the first time they do have Gold Star families in their community that they've never known before. But every state capital in this nation ought to have a Gold Star family memorial on it to recognize everyone in that state who sacrificed a loved one for our country and for us.
And your goal, of course, to be in all 50 states, to be in all the capitals. When would you like to see that happen? What is your goal?
Well, I'll be 96 in a few days, so I'd like to see it happen before 100.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. On my 100th birthday, I'm going to ride a horse. I was in horses for 35 years. I love them. So that's my goal, and I'm going to live to 100 and ride a horse. And I'd like to see it done by that time.
Absolutely. Well, you're well on your way, and what you've done really is truly extraordinary. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
We're here with Lauren Berkson. We're about to unveil the Gold Star Family's Memorial Monument. This is so exciting, and you've really put your heart and soul into this, you can tell. And you yourself are a Gold Star family member.
I'm a Gold Star daughter. Yes, and yeah, this is amazing. I mean, we're so fortunate that we have such community support and generous donors that made this happen so quickly. The city was wonderful. Everybody has been wonderful.
As a Gold Star family member, what does this monument mean to you?
Well, it does a lot of things, actually. It gives us a place to honor our fallen heroes. We want to educate the community on what a Gold Star family is. It gives us a place to reflect. It's a beautiful setting. We couldn't have asked for a better piece of property. And it's also a place for outreach. I hope that a lot of people are average citizens that don't know what a Gold Star family is. I want them to know.
Post the colors!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Don't forget to support your local Gold Star families. Coming up next on this edition of Passport to the Palm Beaches, as promised, it's that private tour of the Norton Museum of Art that you won't want to miss. I'm telling you, it's absolutely incredible. Stay tuned for more Passport to the Palm Beaches. Passport to the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. You're watching Passport to the Palm Beaches. I'm Jacqueline Journey. So excited today because we are at the Norton Museum of Art, and it is incredible. They have got everything here, including all the masters and all the fantastic contemporary art you'd ever want to see. They've just done a huge expansion. They now have a restaurant, a fantastic group area where you can go every day for free. This place is fantastic. You're watching Passport to the Palm Beaches. I'm Jacqueline Journey, and we are here with Rachel Gustafson at a true treasure. It's the Norton Museum of Art. The first of its kind really when it opened in the 1940s here in South Florida, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. 1941, Ralph Norton and Elizabeth Norton, his wife, opened this museum, and it was the first museum in South Florida, believe it or not. And here we stand 78 years later, bigger and better than ever. We're thrilled to have you here today.
Thank you. You know, their original collection is pretty outstanding. Tell us about that. The whole museum was based on their personal collection that they were accumulating for their own homes.
That's absolutely right. So Elizabeth and Ralph Norton were pretty avant-garde at their time. I think Ralph Norton would be considered one of his era's most modern and contemporary collectors. They collected art by Paul Gauguin, Paul Cézanne, Brancusi, artists that were just at the time not necessarily part of the established canon, but were well on their way, and as we know today, form the basis of Western art history.
And you've gone through a really extreme expansion that's just reopened now in 2019. It is amazing. For anyone who hasn't been to the Norton recently, you have to come and check it out. Tell us about some of the expansion and what you've done.
Sure. So the Norton reopened in February of just this year in 2019. And what it brought with it was an amazing design by Foster and Partners out of London. Lord Norman Foster is a Pritzker Prize winning architect. And so he brought with him this very airy, open design that creates more than 12,000 more square feet of gallery space for us. So it means we get to show a lot more art, not only from what's in our storage and can't be out all the time, but special exhibitions like the one we're standing in right now.
Something that you've got that I adore, well, I definitely have to take a look, the Chihuly ceiling.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. What was that like to install? Was that really an endeavor?
Well, the Dale Chihuly ceiling has been at the Norton for quite some years, and now it has a special home in a darkened gallery. So what that allows for is some serious reflection and light to really be pulled out of that multi-piece glass installation. And we did work with folks that work directly with Dale Chihuly Studio to reinstall that. But that's one of 3 different site-specific installations that happened when we reopened. Another one is by an amazing artist out of New York named Rob Wynn, and he used 6,000 pieces of hand-poured mirrored glass to create the huge staircase installation that you'll see right off the restaurant if you care to visit that, as well as a beautiful 5,000 sheet gold leaf mural that's in the Corman Room by Paul Morrison, and a 15-foot long tapestry by California artist Pei White. So it's Chihuly and it's so much more as well. So there's lots to see here.
What does everyone come to see? Like, what is the #1 attraction, do you think?
I think if you're a history buff, it's most likely Paul Gauguin's Christ in the Garden of Olives. We are constantly being asked by other institutions to borrow that because it is such an iconic work in his oeuvre. And so I think for people, that's really not only a hallmark piece in Mr. Norton's original collection, but really in the grander history of art. So I would say that's probably our biggest icon here, but there's plenty more that comes from Stuart Davis's New York mural is also a huge inspirational piece for many people. And sometimes when they come in the front desk, that's all they ask for.
And there's always something new to see. They have rotating collections where we're standing now. This is actually here only for a short period of time.
That's right. Yeah, so this is one of our many special exhibitions that we had when we reopened. We had 8 total. So if you can think about those numbers, we'll be rotating that in just about a few weeks here, and we'll basically start reconfiguring some of the galleries. So the space that we're standing in here will be divided into 2 separate exhibitions. So right now it's one consistent one, but we're gonna break it up and change things up. It's all about experiment now with the new Norton and trying to see how we can use these new spaces the best we can to showcase the best art of our time.
Passport to the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. So glad you could join us for this edition of Passport to the Palm Beaches. I've been your host, Jacqueline Journey, and as always, I'm going to leave you with a quote from my inspirational book, The Divas in the Details. And this one is from one of my favorite ladies of all time, so chic, Miss Coco Chanel. And she said, "My life didn't please me, so I created my life." And it's the perfect quote for all the people we're going to be talking to on the next edition of Passport to the Palm Beaches, because the next one's all about living the dream. It's fabulous entrepreneurs. We've got multi-million-dollar jewelers, one of the fastest growing vodka brands in the world, and a natural and organic farm. We'll see you next time.